Hi, this is Josh McEwen here with episode 3 of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, where we bring your community to you by letting you know what is in the area while highlighting the advantages of shopping local. Today we are here with Laura and Danny Austin from the Land of the Glass Slipper, which is located at 9 Old Oak Lane in Orangeville. Through their company, Laura and Danny provide young children and their families long-lasting memories by offering all-inclusive birthday experiences. Birthdays are often one of the most memorable days of the year for children, but they are often one of the costliest days, never mind stressful, for parents. The Land of the Glass Slipper takes care of pretty much everything, ensuring the day is enjoyable for everybody. They provide the food in the facility, in addition to supplying entertainment that your children will instantly recognize and never forget, all while keeping prices accessible thanks to their many skill sets and business acumen. Thanks to Danny and Laura for making this episode possible, and to you for listening. I hope you enjoy this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Hi, so I'm Josh McEwen, and we're here with Dufferin Spotlight on Business. And as always, I'm here with Rob Bailey.
How's it going, everyone? Today we're here with Laura and Danny from the Land of the Glass Slipper. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good,
Awesome.
yeah.
So what are your most popular products and services?
So we actually offer two different types of parties. We do palace parties here at our location, and then we do parties at other people's houses. We call them carriage parties, but our carriage is a 2015 Ford Escape. But it's a lot of fun to be able to kind of offer two different things and to, meet people where they need. But it's really seasonal based on the popularity. So carriage parties are a lot more popular in the summer when people can have a backyard party. And palace parties are a lot more popular in the winter when people don't want to have to clean their houses to have company over and then clean their houses again when they leave.
Especially around holiday season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Makes sense. So from what I understand, you guys have a wide variety of packages to offer.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of different themes. The popularity kind of wanes and ebbs. Right now, unicorn parties seem to be really in. So.
And mermaids.
And mermaids.
Yeah, especially in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
It's just what's popular. Right now, unicorns, children just love unicorns.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for them to use their imagination too. So they get to make up a little unicorn character and put together a little ensemble.
And it gives us an opportunity to be creative with costuming too. Mm-hmm. So we have two princesses who are unicorn princesses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Is it hard to keep up with all the trends? Because I imagine they change all the time.
Yeah.
It is a challenge, yeah, for sure.
But it's a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
love being creative and coming up with new themes and costumes and stuff.
So what do you think your customers can expect when they show up for a palace party?
We hope they are amazed. And that's one of the questions I always send in our follow-up. Did we meet your expectations?
Important
And
customer service.
we usually get positive responses to that. Yeah.
We also want to make it easy for them too. So we clean up and set up. All you have to do is show up. So.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it very easy for the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a lot of hassle out of their day too, not having to worry about cleaning up after
Yeah.
a bunch of kids.
Busy
Birthday-
parents really love that.
Well, and we want parents to enjoy their children's special day too, right? It's a big day for the whole family. So this way we feel that, they get to relax and really take in that time with their kids.
That special moment.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that even because that would take a lot of time out of their day as well if they have to worry about everything going perfectly, right? Whereas if you guys worry about that, then like you said, they can worry about
They can
paying
enjoy the
time,
moment.
paying
Yeah.
attention with their child, yeah.
And that's usually what they say is that they get to sit back and enjoy and take pictures and be in pictures and not run around and have to organize the food or order a cake. It's all taken care of.
Awesome. I can completely understand that value. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
important thing people have these days is time.
For sure.
Well, and because we do it every weekend, we've got it down to a fine art. So our decorations, we've already got all that stuff. So it's just ready to go up when they get here.
Mm-hmm.
So can you explain what can they expect when they walk in?
So we usually wait for most of the guests to arrive in our throne room. During this time, the two characters that are here will be interacting with the kids. So we make wishes in the wishing well. We play Kiss the Frog. And then we do a coronation, and this is how we like to open all of our parties. For us, it's really important because we do so much dress up and makeup and nails to really emphasize some important values. And I think that, a lot of princesses and make-believe characters kind of hold those, like sense of adventure, kindness, courage. So we have a little coronation speech that all of the girls take. It's a little oath, and they get to focus on the parts of the party that really matter. So spending time with your friends, taking turns, listening to mom and dad, just doing your best and forget the rest is what we always say.
Focusing on being beautiful on the inside, not so much on the outside.
That's important. That's important.
I'm sure when they hear it coming from their favorite character too, it'll go a long way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we already kind of have that in with the kids too, right? So they already know us before they walk through the door. And then, from there, the party just kind of takes off full speed. There's really no downtime. We have it it's 2 hours of jam-packed fun and entertainment, playing, a little food. It goes by so quickly.
Host-wise, you have 2 princesses.
That's right.
So every party has 2 of our staff at it. So we have a lot of different themes. So it kind of varies based on the theme. So the unicorn theme, it'll be 2 unicorn princesses. And then we also do fun things like a red carpet royalty party where we kind of teach them. We do like a little acting lesson, and then they put together these little plays, and then we have an award show. So there are 2 hosts at that party. They're not necessarily characters. And then we also do spa parties. So at those, we would have 2 technicians. So we call them technicians, but we don't have any manicure stuff that we do. So they're not licensed or anything, but it's
Relaxing yoga.
Yeah, they lead them through
facials
that.
And it's fun kid stuff. And they love it. They love lying there on the floor with a facial mask and cucumbers on their eyeballs.
Makes them feel
Some of
grown
them
up.
eat the cucumbers.
They often eat the cucumbers. And they wear pink fluffy robes and they love it.
And then on top of those 2 staff members, mom or mom and I are often here.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's definitely supervision.
Oh, lots of it.
It lets adults relax.
Yeah, there's it's a good ratio. So there's minimum 3 staff working every party, and the average is 10 children at every party. So that's a really good ratio.
Yeah, that's a great ratio. And it helps keep the party as a party, and it stops everything from getting out of hand.
That's absolutely right.
That way
Perfect.
everyone has fun.
Like you guys were saying earlier too, I mean, it always gives the kids something to do as well with more staff there. They're not waiting around on something. There's always lots of things going on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. When we start the parties and we do makeup and nails, so one of us will do tattoos. So if there's 3 stations going, there's not a lot of downtime either, which is nice. And then the kids get a lot of one-on-one time with their characters too, which is fun.
That's
and
great.
if there's boys, it's nice to give them options, face painting a pirate mustache on, or to be inclusive is really important to us.
I was going to ask that. Like, you do make sure that guys are included.
Absolutely.
Everybody has something to do. So it's not just for girls.
No.
Everybody can be involved with this.
I have 2 grandsons, and I know they love to play and dress up too, just as much as the girls. Maybe in a different way, but
Still.
it's awesome.
It's still fun.
They still like to have their fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
What should they look for when they're looking at getting someone in your profession to do a party for them?
So I think one of the most important things when you're booking a birthday party for your kid is to know what your kid wants. So often we get people call and say, we were just at a birthday party last weekend and, Jenna hasn't stopped talking about it and she can't wait to have her party there. So I think the main thing is identifying what it is that the child wants. I know that, what we do is wonderful and we love it, but it's not for everybody. There are certainly kids who wouldn't want their birthday party here, and that's totally okay with us. But I think so it's important to identify what the child wants. And then as far as quality control goes, is just to look at, photos. We have a lot of pictures online, so you can see that our characters are of a high quality, stuff like that. Yeah, just quality control, I guess. But yeah, no, we're very fortunate in this area that I think there's a lot of really great birthday party options for kids.
Yeah, so mostly just make sure that they're doing their research then between making sure it's what their child would like, and then also that the business that themselves are going to has some good reviews and
Make sure they're good with kids.
Yeah, and you gotta, if it's too cheap to be true, it's usually too cheap to be true.
That's usually in most industries.
We were talking about you do cater to both boys and girls. But what would you say is like the age group that you generally do parties for?
So our demographic is probably children aged 4 to 8 who still believe in magic, especially when it's a princess party. A spa party is something totally different, and it is geared for older children. And the same with red carpet royalty. We do have themes for older children, but primarily I would say 4 to 8.
Nice. That's a good age. Like you said, they still believe in stuff.
Yeah, it's a magical age. It really is.
And how many people do you employ today?
We have 22 employees,
Wow.
and some of them can be different characters. Most of them are vocally trained. They're
Wow.
all very talented.
They all love kids.
Yeah, that's when we interview them. Yes, they do an audition, so they sing, and but we always ask about their history, other jobs, and the interaction with children, and the fact that they like children is a big hit with us, obviously. So they usually sing a song for 2 or 3 minutes, and the rest of the 2 hours is interacting with children. So yeah, we have probably staff that are age 14 to about 23.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So it's great for
and
young
male
people.
and female performers as well. So
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
that's a wide range as well.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find the right employees? I mean, that has to be really difficult. This isn't
It's, it's certainly not a job for everybody.
Especially young people. Like,
yeah. And you know what's funny? The right employees usually find us.
Yeah?
So we've only actually advertised that we were hiring, like in the whole history of the company, what are we at now? 13 years?
Since when Gwen and Roger owned it?
Yeah. So I think, so the business has been around for 13 years and we've only ever advertised that we were hiring once. So usually, so our staff are really kind of good at identifying what qualities would work in an employee and often recommend people.
That's important.
Yeah. And we do have a phenomenal staff. All of our girls and guys get along really well together.
Chemistry is important in something like this.
Very much so. So that kind of works really well for us. Or people find out about us online and send in, an application and a headshot. But yeah, they typically find us because it's something you have to want to do. There's a lot of skills, kind of as Mom mentioned. You've got to be able to sing and perform. You've got to kind of look like the character, and you've got to really like kids. We also, serve food. Like there's quite a few things that are going on here. So
yeah, it's complicated. It takes a lot of management skills. Like you got to be composed.
Yeah, and it's about finding someone with the availability too. So sometimes they only have 2 shifts a month, depending on what characters they play. Sometimes they have 3 in a weekend. So there's a lot of variety, and a lot of our staff do performance or take dance classes or singing lessons. So they can be a little bit harder to get a hold of, which is why we have so many.
Makes
so
sense.
that, there's always someone available.
And like you said, too, the most important thing would be that it's something that they really want to be doing as well, right?
The passion is really what makes it.
Yeah, because, the kids have to believe, right? If they're young, but they can pick up on stuff. The person's not in character, they're going to pick up on that and they're not going to be happy.
Well, and the enthusiasm is really amazing. We just had a client ask for an American Girl doll party.
Oh, nice.
And 2 of our staff members have like hordes of these dolls and all of the paraphernalia that goes with them. So we asked those 2 to work the party, and they brought everything we used to set the table. They brought all of their dolls in for the kids. Like they were so excited about this party that, that's kind of what made it special for the kids. We always say to our staff, if you're having fun, then the kids are usually having fun too.
Wow, that's amazing. To get employees to buy in like that,
They're very vested.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we're so lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, well, if they share the same passion as the kids too, then that goes a long way, because they don't have to remember a bunch of stuff when they actually
know it.
Enjoy that themselves. Yeah.
And it's infectious too if everyone is having a good time.
Exactly.
It's just a great memory, right? That they leave with the children.
Where do you think most of your competition comes from?
So there's a lot of options locally for birthday parties in Orangeville, which is really great, and in the Dufferin area. But, we are kind of the only ones who offer a facility and all of the entertainment. But we are smaller. Our parties are designed for 8 to 10 children here, but we can only accommodate up to 14 kids. So if you want to have a huge family party with lots of adults, this might not be the right space for you. And we're, the first to recommend different spaces they can rent out, or, different party facilities. One competitor, not really a competitor, that we do a lot of stuff with is Carrie from Jungle Oasis.
Oh, yes.
And we've always said, if you want to have your party at a play place, this might not be the thing for you. We don't have anything you can climb on if that's kind of the energy you're after. So we don't really have anyone in the area that offers the same thing as us. If you want to get princesses or characters, most of those performers come from the city. There isn't really anything local that's doing that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different birthday party options for kids. And, we're the first to say, like, have whatever birthday party is going to work for your child.
So with the kid being happy, right?
Yeah.
That's it seems like from talking to both of you that's your number one priority, is that the kid's happy.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can't create the environment if everyone involved isn't trying to do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
Like your guys are going for a specific thing here, and it's only possible if everyone makes it possible.
Yeah.
So, the parents have to be involved too.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And what do you think makes you different from the competition too, whether it be local or from the city?
Well, I think we offer a unique product, especially in this area.
For sure.
And I think, that we can do the full service is really nice. We like to be able to offer that to our clients. And I think the small business aspect people really like. I know Mom is the one who is at most of the parties. And everyone calls her Queen Laura in town. Like our staff refer to her as Queen Laura, which is kind of funny. She sings in the Sweet Adeline's Orangeville chorus. And one of the kids in the audience actually had been here a couple of times, and she leaned over to her mom and goes, Mom, Queen Laura's up there. So
I'm famous in my own right.
yeah.
In the small town of Orangeville.
Orangeville, yeah, it is a small area, and we do see a lot of the same kids over and over again. So I think that they feel like they're kind of a part of our success is really important too.
And for me, over the years, having children come back and celebrate their 6th birthday, their 7th, and I see their friends all growing up. We had a spa party for a little girl here the other day, and she was turning 11. And it was like, wow, I've seen your friends and you all grow up. It's pretty special. Mm-hmm.
It's got to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that helps you become more attached to the community more like involved with you as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
a
we
great
love
feeling.
doing things. We love doing outreach with the
Mhm.
community.
I mean, and I'm sure that means too that they like you guys on a personal scale. They keep coming back and they're having such a good time with you guys. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I volunteer at Theatre Orangeville too. I'm a volunteer usher, and
Nice.
I've been working. And some kids, like children's plays, things like that. At Christmas, they'll say, "Queen Laura, what are you doing here?"
Shouldn't you
outside the
be at the
kingdom.
palace?
Yeah.
That sound indicates a commercial break. We're new though, so we don't have any ads. We'll take this time to let you know what Dufferin Spotlight actually does. Each week, we will be releasing a new episode of our show, Dufferin Spotlight on Business, which will feature a discussion with the business leaders from around Dufferin County regarding their businesses and accomplishments. The accomplishments of small business leaders mostly go unnoticed, but it is our goal to highlight and recognize them, as these are the people who keep small communities like ours alive. In addition to bringing more attention to the businesses in Dufferin, we will share the advantages of shopping local. So be sure to check back each week to see the amazing things people are doing through their businesses. To find out more about what we do and the other shows we will be producing, be sure to check us out at dufferinspotlight.ca. Okay, so would you like to mention any family or friends?
Well, I think, the most immediate guy is my dad.
Yeah.
He does so much of the stuff that you see down in the palace. I mean, he painted that whole wall pink against his best judgment. And he spent, 17 hours painting the bricks that are around our throne room. And every weekend he's down here cleaning the carpets. He is totally bought in. He'll
Wow.
bring his friends down to show them the disco ball that he installed. He's really, really wonderful and supportive.
Yeah, we call him King Frank and the cake boss because he picks up our cakes and our cupcakes and
Does all the snow removal in the winter so that everyone's safe coming in. He's
Wow.
He's a huge supporter.
yeah, he's
And-
a
and-
palace custodian.
Yeah, and Prince Odin helps him, our little puppy. He'll
Yeah.
come down here and snuffle up some crumbs. And my grandfather.
Yeah, so when we first started the business, of course, I had never really done any accounting or incorporated a business before.
Yeah.
Being a flight attendant, I knew all about customer service
Yes.
and caring for passengers and clients, but I really didn't know anything about any of the business aspects. So my father was a great mentor to me. He showed me how to do accounts receivable, payables, CRA, remittance, how to collect EI and CPP. So my dad's a businessman. He's 85 right now, but he's still quite...
Well, not yet. In September.
Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, another month.
Don't rush it.
Yeah. So, I really appreciated his guidance. And Gwen and Roger Black, who we bought the business from.
Yes, you mentioned them earlier, yes.
Yeah, they...
They are like family to us in every way.
Yeah.
They're absolutely wonderful. They were so supportive of us buying the company. Gwen is always wanting to hear how things are going. Roger's always asking the business end of things because he did a lot of that stuff for her when she was running the company. And
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
this is really their brainchild. A lot of clients ask us, how did you ever think of this? Like, it's so amazing. It's so unique.
we
And
didn't.
it's like, we don't take the credit for it at all. It really was Gwen and Roger. And basically their formula is
Yeah.
we've continued it.
Yeah.
We really haven't made any changes. And we had dinner with Gwen and Roger a few months back. And I said to Gwen, I still do all the paperwork the way you showed me.
Yeah. We still use their form,
Yeah.
their booking form.
Their booking forms.
So
yeah.
they and Gwen had a lot of ideas kind of as she was thinking about selling the business, and we tried to incorporate a lot of those into what we do as well. So they're definitely at the heart of what we do.
Mhm.
I hear nightmare stories about people buying businesses. That sounds really great. It's
It
important
has
to have the
been-
support of the previous owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Oh.
been nothing but a positive
It
experience.
was awesome. And they were just at the end of the street. So
That
it was
makes you better.
basically just moving. We actually
Wheeled
had
a rack of dresses up the road.
yeah, like it was awesome.
Yeah.
Between everything you just said too, I'm sure that makes a big difference with having support from everyone when
Mhm.
you're You're trying to do something as well, right? Whether it be family, friends.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, and I mean all of our family and friends, like whenever someone has a birthday, if mom hosts like a birthday dinner for one of my uncles or something, we come down here and give them a coronation. So I think they might all be a little bit tired of it by now. But
That's awesome.
But what's nice about having a business that's been in the community for years is some of our staff who work for us, they might have had parties when it was at Gwen and Rogers, or they attended parties, and they can still go to the Bippity Boppity Boutique and show us the dress they wore. So like 10 years ago, that was a huge memory for them. They still remember what they wore. And now they work here. So it's so cool.
yeah, legacy is a large part of what we do.
Yeah.
You mentioned your dresses. So where do those come from?
So we have kind of two sets. We have the costumes that our staff wear, and then we have the dresses that the kids wear. And the dresses that the kids wear are sometimes donated. Once we came home and there was like a bag of beautiful dresses on our front doorstep, we still have no idea who they're from.
Wow.
But I mean, a lot of them came from Gwen. We buy some of them, secondhand, or when they go on sale. The day after Halloween is like the best time to buy children's.
Oh, don't tell my
dress-up
secrets.
clothes. Oh, sorry.
It's so true.
It's so true.
Especially the classic princess
Yeah, anything
dresses.
licensed is usually much more reasonably priced. But we do a lot of maintenance on them, so they all get washed after a party. Mom often will cut out the skirt of one of them if it gets like water stains on it and replace that. So it's a lot of work keeping those, looking beautiful, because you don't want a kid putting on a dress and it having like a big pizza stain down the front. It's not the fun part of dress up.
The children eat their lunch in the princess dresses, and a lot of the parents say, "Oh, are you serious? You want them to eat in those dresses?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I do a lot of laundry. It's okay."
And then
tons.
yeah,
Imagine.
and then our costumes, we make a lot of them.
Wow.
I love to reuse textiles, so I think it's our princess and the frog dress is actually made out of 2 old dresses and a shower curtain. That's maybe the weirdest one. But we have a lot of, dresses that have been repurposed. The costume designer at Theatre Orangeville often calls me when she's got overstock and says, "I've got a huge bag of stuff that might be useful for you." And I'm a bit of a hoarder, so we always take it in. But we use tablecloths, drapes, chair covers,
table runners.
Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff. So
I've seen them. They look pretty amazing.
yeah,
I showed
Thank you.
Josh the shower curtain
Exactly.
one.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah.
it doesn't look like a shower curtain.
It doesn't.
No,
It does not.
it's a really cool fabric.
I would never have known.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty impressive.
And we get a lot of our inspiration from, the things that we kind of have around. And we're really into recycling and not producing too much waste. So that's something that's important for us too.
I remember you guys were saying that about a lot of like in the dining area. You guys really try to stay away from making more garbage. than
Yeah.
you
Parties
need
produce
to.
a lot of.
Well, we could do up to 5 parties a weekend here at our facility. So we go through 2 sets of dishes, one for pizza and one for cake. So that's 20 like minimum paper plates in the garbage and 10 napkins and 10 cups. That's like way too much garbage.
Yeah.
I'm bad at math, but if you add that up, it's a lot. It equals a lot of garbage. So we use, china plates, plastic cups usually, but they get washed in the dishwasher, and fabric napkins for the most part, to just kind of cut down on the waste that we're producing.
And you were saying how it makes them feel more grown up too, as well.
Yeah, it makes them feel a little bit more mature. And it makes the table look a little bit more elegant too, I think.
More
sure.
there's-
sophisticated.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, your table setting is very great. I haven't seen. I know you have a wide variety. The ones I've seen are awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
a lot of thought put into that.
It's a lot of fun.
I could see you guys are both really passionate about it. Is this something that when either you were younger, you thought maybe you'd be doing later in life?
So it's kind of a funny story. I went to a friend's birthday party at the Land of the Glass Slipper when it was owned by Gwen and Roger down the street. And a year later, my mom emailed in my application to Gwen, and I wasn't quite 14 yet. And I went, for an interview, and I met her, and I was really excited about it. So she brought me in. And my first party was a spa party, and we had these foot baths that we used. And we used to do them in ball gowns, which we don't do anymore, maybe for this reason. It was a strapless ball gown, and I actually stepped on the front of my dress, dumped a foot bath on me, and my dress ended up kind of slipping down a little bit. So it was a hilarious first shift, and I knew from then that I at some point wanted to own it, or something like it, because it was such a fun idea, and it was so great to be a part of the best day of some kid's year. So
For sure.
it was really neat. I loved it. And then I worked for Gwen for 5 years. Her husband, Roger, had some health concerns. And so I ended up coming back from my first year of university and managing the company.
Wow.
And she really enjoyed having out of her home. And she really enjoyed having me do that. And I hosted a nice big event and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And she asked me if I wanted to buy the business. And I was at university in London. So it wasn't really practical for me to do it, of course. But I talked with my grandfather, actually, and he said, well, like, you know, kind of talked about the business aspects. And Mom was looking to retire from her career as a flight attendant with Air Canada. So the timing kind of worked out well. I don't think you ever saw yourself doing this when you were younger.
No, I was Santa's helper my first job when I was 12 years old. So I was always up for make-believe and dressing up. So
You're so good with kids.
Yeah, I've done a lot of volunteering with children over the years at
That
the
helps.
church, at the school, the theater.
It was definitely a good fit.
It's a good fit for me. I even on board Air Canada, I always said my favorite passengers were the children. So
yeah.
The ones that don't yell at you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
all that seems to fit hand in hand with this, right? Being
Mhm.
good with kids
Yeah.
and wanting to help out as well.
Yeah, so I've been doing it 2 months ago was my 10-year anniversary, which
Wow.
I mean at 24 is
Congratulations.
pretty cool to have done something for
Yeah.
I've
a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
So
Professional princess. I
Professional.
mean, that's probably every little girl's dream,
yeah.
right?
And let me tell you, it has gotten me many jobs because it is such a conversation starter on a resume.
Actually, I was going to ask that. Like your former employees, like the ones that go on, it must have set them up pretty well. Like the skills you get from this job.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, one of our staff is a flight attendant with Air Canada Rouge, actually, which is kind of funny. But she says that the reason she got her job was because of this on her application. It's such an interesting thing. It's a great way to be remembered.
Yeah.
And it's a diverse set of skills too that you do
That's
here.
what I mean.
Well,
yeah.
that's beyond just having people skills, right? That shows that you're really dedicated to making people and children happy.
Mhm.
And what teenagers can get that exposure or like that experience.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It's very rare.
Mhm.
It's very rare. You guys are
And
providing
it's
great
hard work too. It's, it's a combination of
Yeah, after a 3-hour shift, so the 2-hour party and the setup and cleanup, they are exhausted.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not bored though.
Yeah,
No,
not bored.
Not at all.
No.
No, and it's a challenge. It's stimulating.
Exactly.
It's a lot of improv, so they're always thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great for them.
And not only are they having fun too, but I'm sure with how busy you guys are that whole time, their day probably flies by too.
hmm
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's not like
yeah,
they're
there's
somewhere standing around.
There's never a dull moment
No.
during a party.
They're having fun.
No. And
Yeah.
after the party, we all go upstairs and kind of debrief and have leftover pizza and cake. And we're kind of like a big family. We
Yeah.
sit around and catch up. Yeah, it's great.
I was gonna say, like for younger people in this area, this has to be one of the better opportunities. I'd have to imagine. Like there's so many jobs where you're not active during it, or you're just putting in time. This is not that. Like you.
Yeah.
You're
Well, I
into
mean,
it.
for myself, like in high school, this was so much fun. I
Yeah.
still looked forward to it. So
And I mean, the former owner Gwen must have had a lot of trust in you to want you to take it over.
yeah. I mean, she did have a lot of fantastic employees through her time owning the business. But, I think what kind of got me in is I took her calla lilies to my first shift because Mom had brought in some back from Bogota. And she said, you should take these over to Gwen. And so I did. And she sent me a message the other day and said, I was just thinking about those flowers. And so, I mean, I might have bribed my way into it. But
It paid off.
Mm.
Hey, it's Josh with another commercial break. I just wanted to give you a heads up that it's pretty easy to build and manage your own website. And if you run a business, you probably should do that. It's quite likely that you're paying more than you need to for a website that doesn't improve the operations of your business. If you do it yourself, you will have the freedom to do what you want when you want. To find out more, check out the articles on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. So did you have any role models or positive influences growing up?
I had a lot of great role models. My mom was a great seamstress. She was a businesswoman. She showed me how to sew. So I think that's Gwen often says that's one of the benefits is because I can mend anything or sew anything. Tablecloths, those napkins that are on the table. I made those napkins out of a tablecloth.
Yeah.
I'm pretty creative and resourceful.
That's a competitive advantage. Like
Not
that's
only
really-
do they look great too, I mean, but it cuts down on costs, and that's
Absolutely.
not something that you can just go out and buy as well, right? I mean, you having that set of skills really benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody in this business has those skills.
Yeah, and it's when you talk about costs, we don't charge a lot for parties, so
We try to
costs-
keep them affordable.
Yeah,
for sure.
Reasonable.
we
Definitely.
we feel we're providing a service, and a lot of people have said clients that you don't really charge a lot for the party. Like they're surprised it includes the cake and the lunch and everything.
Yeah.
And when they do their own party, they realize the expense of buying all those things. So
Stress too.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that too.
You
So-
save them a lot of stress.
yeah, absolutely. But it's I don't know. I love being resourceful and creative, and being cost effective is very important.
That really helps with this. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Again, it allows you guys to charge an affordable price.
Yeah, we like to pass the savings on to our clients. Absolutely.
Because I mean, I don't think if you guys had the skills that you guys have, you'd be able to do that.
Well, like the a lot of the costumes that we've made, one that I made out of an old bed sheet and a set of curtains.
It wasn't an old bed sheet; it was a new bed sheet.
Well, it was a bed sheet.
There's
But
a difference.
yeah, I suppose. But it was okay. We'd had it hanging around for a long time.
Okay.
But it was online. I saw a similar costume for like, I don't know, north of $600.
Oh, wow.
So it really is substantial. And
Yeah.
I mean, I do all of the wig styling and stuff. Like some of those wigs are like north of $1,000 to buy
Wow.
pre-styled. So being able to do that saves us a lot of money.
I've seen them. You do a great job too.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
and
thank you.
With the amount of different characters,
Yeah.
too. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
But, I mean, that'd be crazy in cost if you had to go out and purchase all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the wigs are a little bit the bane of my existence, and our staff will attest to that I can be a bit of a jerk about it. But the reason it's so expensive is because it is so time consuming. So
Mhm.
I bet.
Yeah,
mhm.
we have a big inventory too. So if you had to go out and purchase all those costumes today, it would be astronomical.
Huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Things aren't cheap anymore, and I mean, they're only getting more expensive. And
Mhm.
especially when you get in stuff that, like you mentioned before, licensed costumes and stuff like that, it's a lot better to be able to do things yourself.
Mhm.
We have over 300 children's dresses in that Bippity Boppity boutique.
Whoa.
Never mind the fairy wings, the purses, the necklaces, the veils, the tiaras, the
Yeah.
wands. Like there's a lot of inventory down here.
You and your friends could come here for every birthday for those 4 years, like 4 to 8. You would never have to reuse a costume.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And the reason we have so many is because it's really important for us to have something for everybody. So everybody gets to be a princess,
There's-
regardless of your height, size,
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's
there's
for
lots of
everybody.
different options. for
Gender,
sure.
I mean, lots of boys want to throw on a puffy dress.
Yeah, I know
Why
you guys
not?
were talking about that earlier before. Like, you have stuff for boys as well. You have
Mhm.
your trunk that's
Yeah.
for anyone else that wants
we
to
once
dress
did a
up.
pirate party, and I was painting pirate mustaches, and it was actually a little boys' party. And I was face painting pirate mustaches, and there were both boys and girls in attendance. And none of the boys wanted a pirate mustache.
Really?
2 of the girls did, and they wanted them like hot pink and like baby blue.
That's
so
awesome.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you guys get to see tons of creativity.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we try to focus on that. So I always say to our staff, like when the kids come out of that Bippity Boppity boutique and now they've got their makeup and their nails and their dress on, I always encourage them to say like, I love the choices you made, or I love how you use so many different colors or all one color, rather than, oh, you look so pretty, because I think it's a much more meaningful compliment, right?
Yeah, that actually shows like that's why you're getting complimented is their
Yeah.
decisions, not
Yeah. Not
natural
something you
beauty.
have no control over.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And
That's
something that's
extremely
more
important.
meaningful too.
For sure.
You guys seem to really be a positive influence as well on trying to make everyone comfortable with themselves. And I mean, that's a big bonus to have in the community as well, especially with, young children growing up and giving them that influence that it's okay to do or be who you want to be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that we have had so many positive role models in our lives, so many strong women, that it's nice to be able to offer that too for young kids.
Everybody can have fun now. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly, Josh. You want everyone leaving here with a positive experience. We've had some children here celebrating birthdays or attending parties with special needs. And one little birthday girl I was just thinking of, and her mom was saying, she's really engaged. She's sort of outside looking in, but she's having a really good time. And
That's awesome.
I could see that. And it's like, that's what we're here for. Whatever level she's enjoying herself, that's what matters.
Yeah, meeting kids where they are.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Most people wouldn't be able to do that. So I mean that's awesome that you're able to provide that to everybody. Everybody can have fun.
Yeah, we feel pretty lucky to be a part of that too.
Awesome. Did you guys have any partners when you started, or was it just the two of you together?
Danny and I are the partners in the business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm her boss, just for the record.
Yeah.
You're the CEO, though.
Yeah, I'm the CEO. I'm really the managing partner,
Yeah.
the day-to-day running, the booking, scheduling staff, all the accounting. Danny's more the creative
Director
director.
or overlord. Depends on my mood.
Depends on what
Yeah.
what title you want to go by.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest challenge in starting this business?
Well, I think a lot of it was just the setup and the inventory. So moving all of this into and convincing my dad that we could move this into our home. He's sacrificed basically a third of his house, but he's been a good sport about it. So yeah, I think a lot of it was just moving in, painting walls pink, doing the murals. And then, Mom, you had a whole huge learning curve, right?
Absolutely. Which was good.
All
Right?
of the accounting and administrative stuff.
Yeah.
And you're so
that's-
organized, so.
Well, I do have good organizational skills, so I really looked at it as a great challenge. At the beginning, I was still flying and running parties, so it was time management
Yeah.
as well as having a busy life. But yeah, once I retired, it was awesome.
That's the thing a lot of people don't realize too with starting a small business or business in general, that there are going to be sacrifices and struggles, and you are really going to have to manage your time, right? It's not an easy thing to do by any means.
No, you have to be very disciplined. I took a course through the town of Orangeville about starting up your own business, and
smart.
I found that really helped. It kind of gave me a bit of an oversight of what I was getting into. But yeah, it's just being disciplined and carving that time out. I love it because I can come down and set a table in my house coat and have a cup of coffee and listen to music. So
Working from home is awesome.
Yeah, working from home is really very exciting for me because I used to drive to the airport and hop on an airplane and I was gone for 3 days.
Complete
So
opposite.
I could never throw in a load of laundry or do something at home, do some bookkeeping or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely was a challenge in the beginning just to learn something new.
For sure. Well, I mean, no one's ever prepared. I mean, you can go to school for 10 years for business and you're still never going to be prepared to actually run a business. I mean, it's never a perfect time. We've discussed this in our past episodes.
No,
you
there's-
really just have to jump into it and try your best.
Always
Forget
need
the
to-
rest.
Yeah, do your best, forget the rest.
It's our motto.
So anyone that has or the want or wants to start looking into opening their own business, what would your advice be for them? Things that you've had to overcome, or challenges that maybe you didn't see that to help them push through?
I would say there's kind of two counterintuitive aspects. So the one is to do something that you're passionate about. So if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And we love what we do. We have so much fun. Mom always says it's so nice, especially on like a cold winter day, to have all of this positivity happening just downstairs with all the laughter and the dancing, but also to be pragmatic. So a lot of what we do, we could, throw money at murals, or there's no shortage of princess or make-believe stuff out there to buy, right? So you kind of have to keep, and Mom's really good at this, a scope on things and like a lid on the operation.
Smart.
Yeah, so we've talked about adding certain themes, but we usually wait until someone requests it to add it so that we know there's going. So things like that. So just kind of having a plan in mind to be pragmatic and not just, dream all of your startup money away.
That makes for a good partnership because, you definitely need a business sense. And like you mentioned before, you're the creative director. And especially for this business, you need both. You can get pretty crazy with all the different ideas, right?
Yeah.
So it's important that Laura's here to
Yeah,
keep it
she keeps the
contained.
lid on things. She's very practical.
My comment on partnership, my father has a saying about he'd rather take in dirty laundry than a partner. Now, his wife was his partner, his business partner. And I think if you are going to have a partnership in business, I do think it's wonderful to have family members because this really is a family-run business. If Danny and I have time constraints with her going to university.
Or Mom's traveling with some of her friends.
Yeah, we have each other's back. Like we totally get it. There's no...
And there's so much trust here too.
Yeah.
Like I always say to you, you ask me something and I say, I trust your judgment.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So it really cuts down on conflicts.
Makes it easier, yeah.
Right?
For
So-
sure.
Yeah, and that's an amazing thing too, because you do hear a lot of bad horror stories about people that'll never go into business with family again
Yeah.
too. And
Yes.
I think a lot of that is that you have to have a pretty strong bond before you go into
Yeah,
business
yeah.
together. It's not something you want to be getting yourself into a stressful environment and trying to build a stronger bond together at the same time. So, I mean, I'm guessing you guys probably had a pretty good bond before you went into business together.
Yeah, we kind of like each other.
Yeah.
You guys communicate. That's one of the most important things, I
Yeah.
think. 'Cause if you don't do that, your business is done for.
And
That's
like we've said before with other people, I mean, a lot of the people we have talked to, the number one thing is they have to have the passion to do what their business is about. And you guys seem to have that passion.
Yeah.
And your number one priority is making sure that your customer and the kids are happy when they leave, right? If you don't have that in a small business, then you don't really have much at all.
Yeah.
And you've proven that by many repeat customers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we're
have a lot
very-
of good reviews.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate for so many of the customers. Like, they're our number one source of promotion is word of mouth. They speak so highly of us, and we're so fortunate to have them too.
Imagine, I mean, little kids, right? I mean, they go to school, and if it wasn't good, they're not gonna sugarcoat it.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if they had a good time, they're honest about it.
One of my friends is a kindergarten teacher, and she said, I often see the invitations to the Land of the Glass Slipper in their knapsacks, because that's how they distribute them a lot of the times. And she said, and then they come to school on Monday and they're talking about how great the party is. She goes, my friend is Queen Laura. And
You get them some brownie points with the kids.
Yeah.
So
You know
cute.
Queen Laura?
Yeah.
You're actually cool.
Yeah.
You better do good this year. I'm going to tell Queen Laura.
Using power for evil.
Hey, it's Josh with another commercial break. Still no real ads, but I just thought I'd let you know that I don't know my passwords. That stops me from writing them down, sharing them, or worst of all, reusing the same password for my banking, email, and on that weird website that I'll never return to that will most likely be breached next month. This keeps me secure while making my life more convenient. To figure out how you can do the same, be sure to check out the articles on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. Now back to the show, Dufferin Spotlight on Business.
So I know that we talked about employing and how you guys have gone about that now. Are you guys currently hiring? Like, are you guys usually looking, or do you have a strong staff right now?
We have a very strong staff right now, but we always have our eyes open. Usually people will kind of reach out to us, send us an email with a resume and headshot. And because there are so many different roles, not everyone is necessarily the right fit for the right role.
For sure.
So we kind of always have our ears to the ground and our eyes open, but we're not formally sending out any hiring now.
every year our high school students graduate and go off to university. So we have kind of this understanding they have to replace themselves. Now, they
That's
love
smart.
to come back when they're finished school in the summer or for Christmas holidays, because it is like a family. They like to check in. We want to hear how they're doing
Yeah.
and what's going on in their lives. So our staff are really good about doing that. And they also, you know, a number of our girls come from Mayfield, and one of our males, they attend Mayfield. And so they see lots of colleagues at school that have these talents and they think it would be a good fit. That's a great way to get employees.
Well, and I mean, that's the perfect place too, because they get to see friends that are, you know, maybe in the drama club and all
Yes.
that too, who would fit right in here, that like they have a passion for it already. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're bringing in people that they know the rest of the staff will get along with, because like we mentioned before, chemistry is extremely important in this business.
Well, especially if you're like playing two characters that are sisters, right? You've gotta, so we usually have, you know, sets for those things, or a prince and a princess. You've got to be comfortable with each other. And
Yeah.
and there's so much of it that's, you know, playing off of each other too. So
And I mean, we all know what we were like when we were young. Like you need to be the right kind of person for this.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think I'd have the skills. Oh, I definitely know I don't have the skills, but I mean the attitude too. It's you require a very specific kind of person.
And
Really-
we've been lucky to find so many of them.
yeah, and I mean, but with having that family aspect to your business too, I work for a small business that's family oriented, and I mean, when you do find something like that, you're happy to tell people like,
Yeah.
this is who I work for, this is what they do for me, and it goes a long way too. I mean, it's not hard to keep an employee or find a good employee when everyone's like family and they're treated right,
Yeah.
which you do get that a lot more with family and small business than you do with business on larger scales.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big thing for mom is she's always said she wants to treat her staff the way she would have wanted me to be treated at work, right? So
Sure.
we make them feel comfortable, welcome, and valued here. I think those
Yeah.
are our goals.
And that's amazing, because I mean, that's getting harder and harder to find these days for employment. So that's awesome for you guys.
Well,
Yeah, we feel culture is very important, and we really like to promote that good, positive culture, right?
Yeah, that corporate culture, that work culture here.
Well, I mean, some of the biggest companies in the world, they hand out the biggest perks to their employees. They're still not happy, and they still have no problem leaving.
Yeah.
I think people that are like involved with small businesses face a lot more hesitation to leave because they know how hard it is to replace.
Yeah.
Versus the guys at the big companies who know they can just walk across the street.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't have a dental plan, but we certainly have some very loyal staff.
Yeah, very loyal. They'll all send them a schedule and they'll say, I can't work it, but if you can't find anyone else, I will do it, because they would never want to disappoint a birthday child.
Yeah. I had one girl who had a concussion, and she messaged me and ahead of time. She says, "I'm still coming in. I just want you to know I might have to sit down." It's like, you're absolutely insane. I don't want you to work with a concussion.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're very invested
Dedicated
in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how they're going to feel when they get to their next job and maybe it's not feels as much like a family. Like
Yeah.
There's differences, and you guys are definitely creating a great environment, not just for your customers, but for your employees.
Yeah.
Again, that's very important. Like Rob mentioned before, that generally comes from family businesses. And no matter how much money those big guys throw at it, they cannot do the same thing.
Yeah.
They really can't. So have you exceeded your original goals?
I would say yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I think that we never imagined that we'd have this much fun doing it. When we were kind of talking about the logistics of buying the business, we were saying, oh, do we even want to, convert part of our home into this space, or do we just want to go to other people? And I mean, down here, it used to be kind of the dining table where the stage was. And then there was a guest bedroom in our dining room, actually. And
wow.
after about a year, we kind of expanded into there. And so I think we've gone past a lot of what we thought we'd do. And I'm so praising our staff, but some girls and guys come in here and sing, and it's like, I had no idea that 16-year-olds could sing like that. It's mind-boggling. So I think the quality of what we do has really surpassed what we ever anticipated.
Well, just the number of employees too. I mean,
Yeah.
how many businesses in town can say they manage 22 different people?
It's a lot of T4s at tax season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of work on the business end.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys have any plans for expansion as of right now, or?
What we do is so great because we have control over it. So Mom and I love to travel. We love to be able to go away, and keeping it small allows us that opportunity. There are some businesses kind of not in town, but in the surrounding area that offer a similar product and kind of already fill that need. So we haven't really seen any need to expand. We're happily busy right now. You don't really want to be working like more than 5 parties a weekend. That's pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
I want it to stay fun.
Yeah.
And a birthday party, to me, is the most important day, really, to that birthday child, for sure. And I want to engage in that. And I want that child to leave and say, wow, what a fun party. It's a magical memory we created for that child today. If you get too busy, I think you can take away from that.
For sure. If you're doing it every day, it's going to become less special for you too,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like right now for you, it's still special because
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you love doing. But I mean, if you do it every day and it becomes a commitment and it stops you from doing what you love to do as well, like
Absolutely.
outside of it, it's going to become less enjoyable, and it might degrade the quality of the experience for everybody.
Well, and I think like having Queen Laura at their birthday party is kind of part of what the Land of the Glass Slipper is. And
Sounds like it.
You can't be in 2 places at once. Once you were, I think, away with your girlfriends, and I was running the party, and I was, greeting guests, and every child that came in, they're like, wait, who are you? Like, where's Laura? And they actually like wanted to take a little, so I took a video on my phone of them saying like, we miss you, Queen Laura. And I think the size of it allows us to really have those meaningful relationships.
Yeah, keep it close,
Yeah.
keep it tight-knit. That's important.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you get too big, you're going to lose that. I mean, that's what happens to big businesses,
Yeah.
right? They were small once, and they were all great too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still great, but I mean,
Well, and like
Yeah.
we talked about too, I mean, we've said you have to have the passion for it, and if you start overworking yourself and then you lose the passion for it.
it happens pretty quickly.
Well, like, and Mom, you are retired too.
Yes.
Yeah, I always remind people that I am supposed to be retired. Yeah, and I don't want it to be work.
Yeah.
I know it is a business, but it really should be fun, right?
You made this, like, you guys bought this to help serve you guys, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not the other way around, really.
Yeah, we do this because we love it, not because we're becoming millionaires.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
definitely a passion project.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. What would you guys say would be your biggest challenge in the years ahead?
I think what they've kind of always been is just keeping on top of the trends. It is always a challenge around this time of year to be prepared for the staff that are going to leave, because it's usually a mass exodus at the end of August. So yeah, I would just say like ensuring the quality of what we do by keeping good people here, and then keeping up with the trends as well in birthday parties, like unicorns and mermaids.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
it going to be next year?
What's next?
It's exciting,
what
though, right?
costumes are you going to have to
Yes,
make?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
no, and I guess that's one big positive about your business as well is I guess through certain times it can maybe be a little bit repetitive, but you know that as time goes on,
Mm-hmm.
things keep changing and you keep getting, new kids coming with new ideas,
Absolutely.
new idols, new heroes coming out all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
it is always different though.
Variety is the spice of life. So it is fun. And I think that's one aspect of it that we really enjoy and do well together is the creative elements.
We're never bored.
We're never bored.
Hey everyone, this is our last commercial break. If you made it this far, thank you, and I must assume you found this interesting. To keep up to date with new episodes, which will release every Tuesday, be sure to subscribe to us using your preferred listening channel. We are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And of course, our content can always be found on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. If you would like to see us on your preferred platform, please feel free to contact us through our website. We prioritize accessibility to our shows, so we will do our best to make it happen. That's it for commercials, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. I know you guys have lots of people applying, but do you guys ever find like the talent pool for like people in the arts goes down, or it ever goes cyclical or anything like that?
When we posted our hiring at Mayfield, we hired 3 staff members who were out of this world. And 2 of them are currently studying in New York.
Wow.
Well, one's now in LA, but they're doing musical theater for their careers. And then another one is at Humber studying vocals.
Oh, nice.
So they were kind of the big uptick for us in terms of bringing in really, really amazingly talented singers. We've always had people who were really great with kids. That's never been an issue. But they really leveled up the singing game. And I think since we kind of got our foot in with the Mayfield crowd, we've been doing pretty good at keeping those amazing people around. And you know what? Each of our staff brings something different to the table. So there are a few girls who are particularly good at kind of managing the space. So they're girls that, take on more of a leadership role during the party and do kind of the big, okay, now everyone, we're going to go play this game, those sorts of things. So we can, go upstairs and do whatever we have to do to get ready for the lunch while they kind of manage the party down here. And then there's some of our girls who maybe don't have that skill, but they're really good one-on-one with children. And they're really good at making children who are maybe less likely to engage feel special and feel welcome. And they're so good at that one-on-one time. So it's interesting to see how everyone brings something very unique to the table. We have a couple of our staff who are like so on the ball in terms of the cleanup. So if mom leaves me alone for a party, we usually bring those guys in because they help with all the vacuuming and all the, taking out the garbage and whatever. So
between parties, we change the tables. So there's a lot of work to be done between the 2 parties. So our staff are the ones that take initiative and really know what to do next. It really helps us.
yeah.
For sure.
So there's a lot of variety in terms of their skill sets and it's always kind of balanced out quite nicely.
I guess that'd be one of the positives of having that much variety of staff too, is the skills that they bring, right? I mean, especially as we talked before, there's so many varieties of characters and with that many people, you could always find someone that's perfect for that job.
Yeah. And it's cool to watch them grow and kind of develop too. Like there was one girl, we hired her and she was doing well, but she's been with us now for 3 years. And every time she comes in, she has flourished. Like every time she is in, she's just upped it a little bit.
Awesome.
Especially some of the ones that we hired when they were younger, just coming out of grade 9. It's been amazing to see them kind of flourish.
Their growth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and also with this too, there's not much, I don't personally think anyway, in this area, employment for something like this for people with interests like you guys have. I think that's a great opportunity for, especially because you guys do hire younger people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
those opportunities are shrinking.
Yeah, and a lot of our staff are really hardworking. Like most of them have another job because the shifts can be so irregular.
For sure.
We had one girl who came all the way from Brampton and she worked at McDonald's. She worked an overnight shift and then she got here. She was doing her makeup in the car while her mom drove her and she worked a back-to-back party. And at the end of the day, she's like, oh, I'm tired. And that's, I mean, that's reasonable for having done like either of those jobs, but both of them in a 24-hour period. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
that once again shows the passion that, I mean, everyone has for this. So
yeah. She's the one that's about to go to LA. She's just finished her New York stint at school and now she's going to LA. Yeah, she's really hardworking and passionate.
And like you said, that it's a good opportunity for you guys too to see people grow, right, and help them grow.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, that's what helps you guys build such a great business, right? Like, and also provide such a great experience to your customers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I mean, that's extremely important.
Yeah, we always say if you permit it, you promote it. So one of my big pet peeves is chip nail polish. So if the girls come in with chip nail polish, it's like, oh, I've like done all this like wig and dress, and now you've got your chip nail polish. It's like, seriously, get it together. So I can be a little bit firm about that. And so one of our staff now, she gets her nails done, and every time she goes into the nail salon, she sends me a picture of the color to make sure like it's okay. But the same is also true for giving them leadership opportunities. So if you let someone step up and you let them be a little bit creative or have that opportunity for leadership, they have always met the goal and then some.
Well, that's a big bonus for your guys' business as well, is if you let people be creative, they're bringing something to the table for you guys too, right?
Everybody benefits. Yeah.
Everybody wins.
For sure. It's children, most importantly.
Yeah.
Yes, the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ask too, who's your favorite character?
Oh, that's tough. That is tough. I like to highlight the parts of characters that kind of mean the most to me. So, I mean, I'm studying to become a librarian. So whenever I'm, friends with Belle, I like to talk about books and reading. Some of the other characters, you can highlight things like adventure or family, whatever is kind of the most important value. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I also really like the parties where we come up with our own original characters, and our staff really like those too.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah, so
Wow.
we have, like our unicorn princesses. We have,
Oh, yes.
what are they called? Razzle Dazzle and Pinky Pop. We came up with those names on short notice. But it's fun to let yourself kind of develop a character and be creative in that way too. So yeah.
What about the Russian movie director?
for the what?
Not
what
Pink Poodles in
parties?
Paradise.
Oh, I can't keep them all straight.
Magic Carpet Royalty.
Red Carpet Royalty.
Red Carpet
That's it.
Royalty.
Yeah, I do this hilarious like Russian director, and I'm kind of mean to the kids, and they really like it. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
My favorite is Mrs. Claus. We've done a few events, tea with Mrs. Claus,
Oh, nice.
and she always reads Twas the Night Before Christmas. And our Mrs. Claus has an English accent, and she just is
And she's your best friend.
yeah, and she's the epitome of Mrs. Claus. She's all about kindness and generosity, and
Yeah, she's a really special person. She's been like family to us from day one, and all of our girls are so excited when Aunt Pat's coming in to be Mrs. Claus. So it's cool.
we visit Ewing on Christmas Eve every year at Headwaters. And this year we took Mrs. Claus too. And I could see, obviously children love Mrs. Claus and, oh, how's Santa and all these things. But the patients at Ewing were all really happy to see her too.
Mm-hmm.
It was, very nostalgic, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to wrap it up. I think, is there anything you guys would like to say?
No,
think
not
so.
really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, it's great.
Awesome.
Thank you for the experience.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
You guys.
We love talking about our business, you can tell.
No, and
I understand why.
I mean, you guys are passionate about it, like we've said over and over again, and I think everyone will be grateful for what you guys do and what you guys do in the community as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, we feel so lucky to have the opportunities that we've had and being engaged in our community as well.
Danny was just nominated as a young entrepreneur for Dufferin Board
Oh, nice.
of Trade.
Congratulations.
So,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
Congratulations.
I still think you might have nominated me.
No, I didn't. I did not actually.
You're my biggest fan.
I am.
I want to make sure that everyone knows too, what's the best way to contact you guys if this is the party for them?
So our Facebook, we keep a lot of updates. If we add a new theme and stuff, we'll post stuff there. You can contact us through there. And we also have a website which has a list of our themes and different options available, as well as some, reviews and stuff like that. It has a contact page. You can email us or give us a phone call.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're located at 9 Old Oak Lane. That's where the palace is.
That's where the palace is.
Well, thank you for your time. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
our
Thank you
pleasure.
guys again.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, everybody. That's it for this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Laura and Danny from the Land of the Glass Slipper for helping us out with our show, and to those of you who listened. If you would like to learn more about the people and businesses that make Dufferin what it is, be sure to check back every Tuesday for new episodes. The easiest way to do this is to follow or subscribe to our show wherever you prefer to listen. We are currently on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. Of course, you can find all of our episodes and more on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. If there's anywhere else you would like to see us, please let us know through our website, and we'll do our best to get on it. If you haven't had a chance to check out our episode with Joe from Orangeville Airsoft, you should definitely do that. He's doing some truly impressive stuff. Until next time, get to know your community and shop local. Thanks for listening and have a great week. Bye.